All right, check out this website. 4 Christian missionaries were at an Arab festival over in Dearborn, Michigan, when they had a huge run-in with police. They said they did nothing wrong. They were just handing out copies of the Gospel of John, but police cuffed them, arrested them for disorderly conduct. And you're seeing what happened. Joining us right now, one of the men who was arrested, David Wood, and his lawyer, Robert Muse, is also here. He's over in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Welcome to both of you. First off, David, why were you there working the camera?
I was there to have discussions, to discuss anything that anyone wanted to discuss. We like having conversations with Muslims. My friend Nabeel is a former Muslim, and so we were there to engage in dialogue. And I noticed when we were there, since Nabeel's a former Muslim, more people wanted to talk to him, so I just sort of stepped back and held a camera.
So you watched, you recorded it, and it was taken away from you, and you were jailed, and you were out. You were charged with breach of peace. When he walked over there, Robert, I guess he did disturb the peace for the Arab festival. They were not happy Christians were showing up. Were they wrongly charged, in your mind?
The Christians were the only ones that were charged, and you know, it's interesting, it wasn't the Christians that were breaching the peace, it was the hecklers, the Muslims who were actually making threats to them, who were shouting profanity. And the constitutional response for the police department is not to silence the peaceful speaker, the Christians, but to silence the hecklers. And what the police did here is they essentially effectuated the heckler's veto, and that's a problem. And instead, what we have now, we have 4 Christians who are locked up and spent an evening in the jail for doing nothing more than expressing their religious beliefs. You know, in our country, we're not governed by Sharia law, we're governed by the Constitution, and we have a First Amendment that protects those rights.
And David, from your understanding, you're just exercising freedom of speech, right?
Yes, and actually, to be clear, I wasn't even speaking at all, and 3 out of the 4 of us who were arrested weren't speaking at all. We were standing there recording or listening. Only one of us was actually speaking, and we were all arrested.
Right. Is this more, were they adhering to Sharia law in their arrest? Because it doesn't seem to be going by our Constitution.
Well, I guess that was my point. Again, you know, our Constitution protects the right to free exercise of religion, the right to freedom of speech. Under Sharia law, you don't have those particular rights. You know, it's probably not a coincidence that in a city where you have the largest Muslim population in the United States, that you have police who are persecuting Christians. You know, and this pattern of conduct has got to stop. You know, the Law Center, the Thomas More Law Center, we consider ourselves the sword and shield for people of faith. And we're breaking out the shield right now to defend these criminal charges, but we're also going to pull out the sword, and there will be a civil rights action.
Robert Muse will follow this. David Wood, thanks for joining us.